Hey guys, you know it never ceases to amaze me at the innovation and the creativity of Mississippians. Today I'm going to introduce you to a guy that the Country Music Hall of Fame calls the man who started it all. Let's meet Jimmie Rodgers. Come along with us. Let's go explore. Let's start along our Jimmie Rodgers journey at the Jimmie Rodgers Birthplace and Museum. Jimmie was born on September the 8th, 1897. He was born right here in Meridian, Mississippi. Jimmie's mother died when he was very young, and he spent the next few years with relatives in southwest Alabama. Eventually, he came back home to live with his father, who was a maintenance foreman on the Mobile and Ohio Railroad, and he had settled with his new wife in Meridian. By the time Jimmie was 13 years old, he had organized a couple different traveling shows only to be brought home by his father. On one of those trips, he had stolen some sheets to help make a tent. He paid for those sheets when he returned home from the money he earned from his traveling show. Not too very long after that, he charged an expensive canvas tent to his dad without his father's knowledge and took out on the road again. Shortly after that trip ended, his father found him his first job on the railroad. He became a water boy on his father's gang. A few years later, he became a brakeman on the New Orleans and Northeastern Railroad. When Jimmie was 27, he got tuberculosis. This ended his railroad career, but it meant that he was able to get back into the world of entertainment. Jimmie relocated to Tucson, Arizona, thinking that, maybe the dry climate might help the effects of his tuberculosis. In less than a year, he and his wife, Carrie, and his daughter, Anita, were back in Meridian. In February of 1927, Jimmie traveled to Asheville, North Carolina, and in April, he and a friend performed on WWNC, Asheville's first radio station. Just a bit later, Jimmie and a group called the Geneva Ramblers became weekly regulars on the station, and they were known as the Jimmie Rodgers Entertainers. An Asheville paper noted that the Jimmie Rodgers Entertainers had a music that was quite different than, the usual material of the station, but a large audience really seemed to enjoy it. In early August of 1927, Rodgers and the Ramblers got word that the Victor Talking Machine Company was sending a representative to Bristol to record area musicians. Jimmie and the band argued about how, the recording would be billed on the record, and Jimmie just declared, "All right, I'll just sing one myself." Jimmie Rodgers recorded 2 songs that day, "Sleep, Baby, Sleep," and "The Soldier's Sweetheart." He was paid around $100. In November of that year, he went to New Jersey to record 4 songs. They were Ben Dewberry's Final Run, Mother Was a Lady, Away Out on a Mountain, and T for Texas. T for Texas was his big hit because in the next couple of years it sold nearly 500,000 copies. Jimmie did a movie short entitled The Singing Brakeman. He also toured the Midwest with humorist Will Rogers. In 1930, he recorded Standing on the Corner, known as, Blue Yodel No. 9. He made this recording with a guy named Louis Armstrong, whose wife, Lillian, played piano on the recording. In 1932, with TB getting the best of him, he had given up touring, but he still had his weekly radio show in San Antonio, Texas. He had moved there when T for Texas became a hit. In 1933, he went to New York for recording sessions. In May of that year, he completed 4 different songs recorded on the first take. Jimmie took a day of rest and he came back to the studio to record some more, but had to sit down while doing so. He went back to his hotel hoping that he could return and finish the songs he had been rehearsing. He came back to the studio a couple days later and recorded Mississippi Delta Blues and Years Ago. He did Years Ago by himself, just he and his guitar. And 36 or so hours later, Jimmie Rodgers, the father of country music, was dead. Jimmie had entertained many people using a form of music that they didn't even know to call country music yet. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Mississippian Jimmie Rodgers today. Thank you.